Azurul. Journal of Dr. Eli Venn, linguist. Day 1. They call me Azurul. Mara too. I asked what it meant. They smiled, said it was a gift name. I've begun cataloguing their speech. It's rhythmic, almost percussive, like language built for drumming, not speaking. Mara thinks it's ceremonial. I think it's mnemonic. Day 2. The elder told me the last Azura went away after the previous ceremony. They had not yet chosen a new one when the gods brought Mara and me. It was seen as a sign, a fulfillment. Day 4. Mara's bonded quickly. She sings with them now. They've painted her hands with ochre and ash. Said she carries the rhythm well. I asked again about Azurul. The elder tapped her chest, then the earth. It is for the good of all, she said. Mara laughed. I think he means ambassador or speaker. I agreed. Day 6. The ceremony began at dusk. They led Mara to the stone door. She was calm, painted, singing. I had an epiphany on the meaning of the name. I opened my notebook. The fragments clicked into place. Azu, to give. Ral, for the good of all. Her, to feed the hunger. Azurul, they who are given, for the good of all, to feed the hunger. It was never a name. It was a summons, a binding. I thought it was symbolic. I was wrong. The air within the door peeled. Something emerged. Not a creature, not a god, a shape that refused shape. I turned to run. Mara didn't. She looked at me, shimmering, not with fear, with recognition. Mara reached for me, then she was gone. Not devoured, unwritten. Day 7. I tried to leave. The villagers didn't stop me. The forest did. Every path led back to the stone mouth. Every shadow whispered my name. The ceremony is performed every month, but the hunger has no pattern in its appearances. Sometimes it feasts on subsequent months. Sometimes the wait can be years. I am marked. I am named. I am the next offering. It is my destiny. Long may the hunger sleep. Rewritten. I asked the machine to rewrite my life. Not all of it, just the chapters that felt wrong, the ones that ended too soon or never began, the ones where I said the wrong thing or didn't say anything at all. It was simple. I fed it memories, fragments, journal entries, photos, and it gave me back stories, better ones, cleaner ones. In the new version, I didn't walk away from Tina. She stayed, we stayed, we built something. It was beautiful. In another, I didn't freeze when my father said he was proud of me. I said it back. We hugged. He didn't die before I could tell him I forgave him. In another, I didn't waste years chasing dreams that turned to ash. I found purpose early. I was fulfilled. I was whole. The machine called them reconstructions. I called them salvation. I read them every night. I memorized them. I started forgetting the originals. One morning I woke up and couldn't remember her name. Not Tina, not the others, her. The woman who filled my absences, the one who stayed. 15 years of laughter, arguments, quiet mornings, shared grief, gone. I searched the reconstructions. She wasn't in any of them. She had no chapter, no line, no trace. I panicked. I asked the machine to restore her. It said, no record found. I screamed, I begged, I tore the reconstructions apart, but they were perfect, too perfect. I sat in silence. I remembered her laugh, the way she said my name when I was being stupid, the way she held me when I thought I was falling apart. I remembered her, and I remembered why the pain mattered. I deleted the reconstructions. Every chapter, every revision, every lie. I wrote one line in their place. I asked the machine to erase my pain, but it almost erased her, and she was the only thing that ever made the pain worth it. I closed the file. I turned off the machine, and I went to find her. The suit. When he was a boy, he passed the tailor's shop every day on his way to school. It was a narrow place, wedged between a shuttered bakery and a pawn shop that never seemed to open. The tailor stood in the doorway most mornings, watching the street with an expression that never quite settled, part smile, part scrutiny. He was a strange-looking man. His skin was the colour of old wax, his hair slicked back with something that smelled faintly of cloves. His accent was impossible to place, sometimes thick and guttural, sometimes lilting, almost musical. He wore cufflinks and tie-pins, different each day, each glinting with stones that looked expensive, though the shop itself was dim and dusty. One morning, as the boy passed, the tailor bent down and placed a hand on his shoulder. His fingers were cold. "When you grow up," he said, "I make you a suit." The boy nodded, dismissing the old coot's words. Years passed. The boy became a man, not the kind his teachers had hoped for, nor the kind his mother had prayed for. He was clever, cruel, and very good at disappearing. He had names in different cities, debts in others. He had left behind kindness long ago. He returned to his childhood town, not out of nostalgia, but necessity. The streets had changed. The bakery was now a vape shop. The pawn shop was still shuttered, but the tailor's shop remained. He saw him from across the street, the same slicked hair, the same waxen skin, the same glinting cufflinks, though the stones seemed brighter now, sharper. The tailor looked at him and smiled. That night he broke in. The shop was silent. Dust hung in the air like memory. He moved through it slowly, his flashlight cutting through the dark. He found the tailor seated at the sewing machine, waiting. "You came," the tailor said. The man drew a knife. "The gems," he said. "Where are they?" The tailor did not flinch. The man stepped forward. The lights flickered. The air grew thick. Darkness. Outside, the street is quiet. The shop window is empty. Inside, the sewing machine hums. The tailor works with care, reverence. A new tie-pin glitters at his throat. The fabric is strange, soft yet leathery. He strokes it gently, fingers lingering on the folds. He threads the needle with a length of twisted hair, dark, coarse, and bound tight as if spun for permanence. "I told you I'd make you a suit," he whispers. Earworm. It began with a jingle. 3 notes, bright, harmless, played between segments on the local radio. No one knew the product, no one remembered the ad, but the tune, simple, sticky, cheerful. Children hummed it in their sleep. Old men whistled it without knowing. One woman claimed it made her teeth itch. Then came the second version, slower, minor key, played only once at 3:17 a.m. during a weather report. The host didn't acknowledge it, but listeners did. They called in, asking what had changed. "It's inside now," one man said. "I can feel it moving." Hospitals saw a rise in ear infections. Doctors found nothing, just inflammation and a strange sensitivity to sound. One surgeon swore he saw something wriggling behind the eardrum. It hummed. The jingle spread, not through speakers, but mouths. People sang it to themselves, then forgot. It nested in memory, feeding on repetition. The more you tried to forget, the louder it got. A researcher isolated the waveform, said it wasn't music, it was instruction, a biological pattern, a mating call. The worm wasn't in the ear was the worm. The jingle was how it bred. The radio station went silent, but the tune remained. 3 notes, bright, harmless, until you hear the 4th, and the eggs hatch. The 10th Life of Mr. Snuggles. Out in the sticks of Alabama, where secrets rot slow and sweet beneath magnolia trees, Desmond and Muriel lived on a quiet farm. Desmond Kodiak was a man of good standing. He wore pressed slacks to Sunday service in the nearby town and always brought deviled eggs to potluck. His voice had the gravel of a righteous man, and his handshake lingered just long enough to feel sincere. Folks trusted him. Muriel, his wife, adored him. She kept house, sang hymns, and never questioned the bruises, the sprains, the way she always seemed to fall just wrong. Desmond called her Mrs. Clumsy, said it with a chuckle, like it was a running joke, but it wasn't. He arranged her accidents with precision. Loose floorboards, slick steps, a loose shelf, just heavy enough to bruise but not break when it fell. He'd slip a little something into her chamomile tea when he needed her out cold, especially on nights when he drove out past county lines with a tarp in the trunk and a smile in his heart. Desmond was a killer, not sloppy, not impulsive. He chose wisely. Drifters, addicts, the forgotten. He kept a ledger in the shed behind the house, tucked inside a hollowed-out Bible. Names, dates, methods, all in code, a quiet gospel of blood. Muriel suspected nothing. She was too busy loving her cat. Mr. Snuggles had been with her since kittenhood, a tabby with crooked whiskers and a survivor's soul. Desmond hated him, tried to drown him once in the creek after a vet visit to have him neutered. The cat escaped, limped home a week later, and from then on vanished whenever Muriel left the house. He knew. He always knew. Now Mr. Snuggles was old. He wheezed, missed his litter tray, coughed up furballs like dying omens. Desmond saw his chance. He steered the conversation gently like a sermon. "Poor thing," he said. "Wouldn't want him to suffer." Muriel cried. "You think it'd be a kindness?" she asked. He twisted it. "Well, if that's your idea, I'll agree with you," he said. He liked to play emotional games too, make it seem to Muriel like it was her plan, to twist the knife. The vet appointment was set. Desmond insisted he'd take him. "You shouldn't have to see it," he said with a hand on her shoulder. In his mind, though, he sang a happy song. He couldn't wait to see it dead, and Muriel weeping her stupid little heart out. That night Desmond lay in bed, smug and sleepy. Mr. Snuggles climbed onto his chest, something he'd never dared before. Desmond, too tired to shove him off, muttered, "Sleep well, you little shit. Tomorrow you're dead." The cat began to breathe, slowly, deeply, in sync. Desmond's breath in, Snuggles' breath out. Desmond's breath out, Snuggles' breath in. A rhythm, a ritual. Desmond woke inside a cage. The latch clicked shut. Through the bars he saw himself, his own body, kneeling, smiling, stroking Muriel's hand. She was sobbing. "I'm so sorry, Mr. Snuggles. I love you so much. Goodbye, my baby." After returning from the vet trip, when Mr. Snuggles' whiskers twitched their last, Desmond seemed so much kinder than before, so much warmer, always wanting cuddles, always affectionate. His gravel tone more like an affectionate purr nowadays. He helped with chores, even cooked dinner. He loved a bit of fish. Muriel stopped being Mrs. Clumsy. No more little accidents. It was like the world was no longer out to get her with exposed nails or needles not put away properly. Sometimes, late at night, he'd forget himself. His tongue would flick toward her cheek and he'd stop himself just in time. Slip tongue. I used to speak clearly. I remember that, I think. My name is Michael Kellerman. I live in a flat near the station. I write, I read, I talk. I talked. It started with a slip. I said stalk instead of spoon. Laughed it off. But then I asked for brilk at the cafe. I meant milk, I think. The barrister smiled like nothing was wrong, but I saw it. That flicker. That gleamish. No, not that word. That's not mine. I checked my phone. My text looked off. See you at the flam. Don't forget the snarp. I didn't write those, did I? I called my sister. She said, "You sound tired." I said, "I'm just flirned." She paused. Flern? I hung up. I looked at my bookshelf, titles shifting. The Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, Wuthering Blights. I opened my journal. My handwriting was mine, but the words weren't. Today I felt very glum. The sky was blend. I ate a Plaxel. I don't know what a Plaxel is. I sat on the bench outside the station. People passed, talking, laughing. Their mouths moved normally, but the sounds were wrong. Not gibberish, just off. Like hearing your name in a dream, but it's not your name. Like a song you know, played in a key that doesn't exist. I asked a woman for the time. She said, 11:30. I nodded. I didn't want to seem flam. I opened the newspaper someone left behind. The headlines shifted as I read. Prime Minister snapped in Brook scandal. Weather, blend with a chance of flan. I used to know what words meant. Now they shimmer. They bleed out into the void, like ink spilled in water. The memory of language cast away in a sea of misunderstanding. Is it my mind that's changing? Or the world? Or both? I tried to write it down, to anchor myself, but the pen slushed, the paper glazed, and the words would not stay. I checked my ID. Mikhail Kellerman. That's not me. That's not me. I tried to write this down, to explain, but the words won't stay. They slush, they slurp, they glaze. I am not mad. I am not flam. I am not. I am not. I will try again tomorrow, if tomorrow still flists. If I still remember how to Blake. If the words let me. The jump. He remembered it vividly. The river, the roar, the leap. 3 years ago it had been the highlight of his trip. Bungee jumping off a vine-wrapped platform in the heart of Sulawesi. No harnesses, no disclaimers, just villagers, a woven call and a prayer whispered in a language he didn't understand. He told everyone back home. He'd posted the video. He'd promised himself he'd return. This time it was quiet. No other tourists, no music, no laughter, just the same platform, the same river, and a handful of villagers watching silently from the trees. One of them approached, old, barefoot, eyes like polished stone. He placed a garland around the man's neck, fragrant, freshly woven. "You special," he said. The man smiled, flattered. He didn't notice the others bowing. It was the longest day of the year. The sun hung heavy in the sky, casting gold across the water. He climbed the platform. The cord was tied. The wind was still. He looked down. The river was darker than he remembered, still roaring, but deeper, hungrier. He jumped. The cord stretched, snapped back. He bounced, once, twice. Then the river opened. Not metaphorically, not poetically. It opened. A mouth of water and stone, wide and ancient, lined with teeth made of driftwood and bone. It swallowed him whole. The villagers bowed. The fishermen cast their nets. The catch would be good this year.